Hey everybody, welcome back to Intrepid Exotics. And today we have a new member of the family we're going to introduce you to and talk about just a little bit. And he is snoozing right now, but we're going to wake him up for a little while so you can meet the new Hedgehog when we come back on Intrepid Exotics. So of course, anytime we're upstairs, old Piper here, her miniature pinscher, has to be right in the middle of everything, don't you? This is not all about you today though, so you're gonna have to get down. Because we're talking about somebody else. Why, girl? So, now he came out here, brought the Hedgehog's little bed out with us. Piper, I'm gonna put you in your room. Stop. Stop. Now, a couple things about these guys. Hedgehogs are nocturnal, so of course he's sleeping. And we're just going to really carefully come up underneath him. See if we can't get him out. Come on, little buddy. He's not going to be too terribly pleased about coming out, but just really carefully. There we go. So I would like everybody to meet Mr. Bruce Quillis, who is the latest addition to the family. There you go. Now, I had really anticipated before we'd gotten him that he would be a lot more shy than he is. I figured he would spend almost all of his time, especially the first couple days, just curled up into a ball. But the folks that we got him from out here in North Carolina, a place called Cove Exotics, have clearly done a really good job with these guys. They spend a lot of time with their animals, and as you can see, even waking him up like this, he's such a good-natured little guy. There's several species of hedgehogs, and they are native to Europe, Africa, and some parts of Asia. They're desert species. This one is an African pygmy. He's a little pygmy hedgehog. So the camera angle is going to be a little funky with this guy. Oh, there it goes. They've got the coolest thing that they do when he gets startled. He pulls that little row of spines down over his eyes. Just kind of hides his eyes. Like, you can't see me. Now, a couple interesting facts about these guys is that, first of all, those are real spines, and they will really poke you. They've got, adults have about 5,000 spines that they shed every year, regrow new ones, and they've of course got the ability to control them. So when they're chilled out, they're typically laid down flat around their back, and when they get stressed out, and if anything startles him in this, you'll see all of the spines on his back just stick straight up. You can really read their state of mind by how their spines are. And like I was saying, they're nocturnal, and they've actually got pretty poor eyesight, so they interact with the world mainly through their senses of hearing and smell. What you can see he's doing right now. And one thing that's really kind of cool about these guys, especially for somebody like myself that's used to keeping reptiles and having to keep such a close eye on parameters and things like that, is they're fairly easy to keep, they're fairly easy to feed. They do hibernate, and I'm sure that changes some in captivity. Of course, if you've got a regular temperature for them, they you know, that whole need to hibernate isn't there anymore. They do it so that they can survive the winters, and typically it's really amazing how that works. Hibernation's always amazed me, because typically they've got a heart rate of about 170 beats per minute, and they will when they hibernate, they drop 20 to 30 degrees of body temperature, and their heart rate slows to 5 beats a minute. Which, man, if I could sleep like that, it would make the days at work so much easier. You're just all over the place, ain't you, little buddy? Really? Okay, so this guy, he's so gregarious, and it was really a pleasant surprise, because, like I said, I had expected before we got these guys that they would just stay, you know, really reclusive and really afraid of people. They're really solitary in the wild. The only time they seek out any other hedgehogs is when they're breeding. And of course, you know, they're really dependent on their mothers for the first few weeks of their life. And, you know, as soon as their mothers quit producing milk, they go off on their own, and that's how they spend the rest of their days, every now and then going out and trying to find a female. And let's, come on, bud. Trying to get it on my sleeve. So we just wanted to do a really quick introduction and let everybody meet Bruce here. And we're going to go ahead and put him back in his Nakatomi Plaza. That was such an appropriate name since we got him right around Christmas time. Die Hard being, of course, the quintessential Christmas movie. So sometimes it's just in the stars, right? I wonder if I can get him to furrow his brow really quick. It's one thing about most animals, really. A lot of the really cool stuff they do it because they're stressed out or they're scared or something. So when you get animals the way, of course, we want to have them, when they're not stressed out and when they're comfortable, they don't do a lot of that stuff. It's the same way with the hognose snakes, where it's so funny to watch them play dead, but if they're doing it, it's really not funny to them because they are really stressed out. This little guy, he just doesn't look like anything in the world's going to stress him out. So I'm looking forward to a lot of good interactions with this little guy. Like I said, he is all over the place. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce him and kind of talk about him a little bit. So this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, and really exceptionally pleased with how well he's doing and how well he's adapting to his new home and being handled and whatnot. I guess he's comfortable because he's just going to sit up here and give himself a pedicure now. So we're going to go ahead and put him back. I think he's all wore out now and he's ready to take a nap. He's got the little furrowed brow going on there. So clearly he's a pretty comfortable little fella, seeing as how he's falling asleep in my hand 3 feet off the ground right now. So like I said, really impressed with how social this guy is and how well he's doing. So don't forget, like the videos, get subscribed to the channel. We're going to spend a little bit more time this week later on putting out some stuff for the boa constrictor, maybe going over the new enclosure that we got for him. And we definitely need to play with the reticulated pythons a little bit more. So you won't want to miss that. So you guys have an outstanding day, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.